Going.
It's going.
Hello.
Oh, hello. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, the garlic harvest. So we'll try and whip through it as quick as we can. We've had a couple of failures. I'll get a... No, don't. Yeah, I'll just show you this. We had quite a few started to die off about, starting off about a month ago. I haven't been here. So Margaret's been sort of pulling the ones that started to die. And if you leave them, they did this. That's one where the top died, went a bit rotten in the rain, and it's all started growing already. Strange. But most of them, okay, this is a fairly early one, obviously, pulled about 3 weeks ago. They're the Argentine small redskins. We're going to have to go back through my other stuff because I think that was probably a supermarket job. There you go. We'll whip through them. All the ones of interest. What we've got here? Red. Les Red. Okay. These are almost certainly they're an Italian red of some variety that came from Diggers the year before. So, yep, they've done quite well. We've got one that came from Woolworths. It was a large purple striped garlic. It looks entirely different to the garlic that I bought in Woolworths, so probably totally different growing conditions. This is far more open clove. You see how it's all open? Whereas the Woolworths one that I bought from Woolworths was much larger cloves and they were much tighter packed. Different conditions, I suppose. What have we got here? Small Woolies white. In other words, that's your common garden white Chinese garlic. And funnily enough, it looks pretty much the same as what you bought it in Woolworths the first time. Different one. Australian medium brown skin. Not sure where this came from. 22 of them went in. We'll have to have a look back on the other one. Once again, Margaret's pulled it probably about 3 weeks ago. Oh, today's the 25th of November, I think. So this would have been pulled in the first week of November, and you can see already it's well opening up. It's not the tight garlic with all the paper on it like you'd expect. What's that Australian medium brown skin? All these ones in boxes are the ones that Margaret pulled a few weeks ago, and they dried in the garage, and then she's already pulled the leaves off them. Okay, this was a large cloved Chilean garlic, one that I bought from Woolworths, and it's actually grown very close to true to form, the same as I got it out of the supermarket. And that one's interesting because there's definitely, I'm sure there's an acclimatization thing for some of these imported garlics where grown elsewhere come to the other side of the world and they're totally confused. And I think they'll probably take a couple of years of growing to come to their best. Anyway, that's the Chilean, large clove Chilean. Did all right. And what we've got over here. This was such a disappointment. These were the huge white garlics that I got, which the greengrocer thought were Mexican. I put, how many did I put in? 9 of them or so. Ended up with 3, and they're the smallest things around. Just didn't grow here. We'll replant them and see what they do next year. This, once again, look at them. All really starting to open. Nice garlics. Maybe they could have been pulled earlier.
Well, because that's exactly what they look like coming out of the garden.
That's it.
Out of the soil, open.
Yeah. So Margaret's left those, even though she's pulled these out in the first week of November, she's left them until the leaves were quite, dying down on the top. And I reckon they've got to come out while the leaves are still green. Where we are here. Now look, here's a great example. Did I tell you what they were, by the way? That was the Argentine small browns. The ones I put 30 of those in. Now, that's all the box stuff that Margaret pulled. All the rest of it I pulled yesterday, which was the 24th of November. And as I'm only here for a couple of days, I just had to say, right, all out. And I started pulling them, I thought probably too early. Look, the scapes are only just there, they're barely opened even. And I thought surely you'd leave them to complete flowering before you'd pull and harvest. But it's a real mixed bag. Now, that's an Australian purple stripe. I have to go back through the planting video to see where they came from. And in my opinion, they look like perfectly formed garlics. They're nice and hard. We just got to dry that paper out on them and clean them up. And I reckon they're great garlics. So Australian purple stripes, done well. one of the stars of the show. This is it's called Australian White. It may have come from Berry Street Seeds. I'll put my hands up that it's otherwise going to be commonly called an Italian white, and it's very clear that anything with Italian in it did bloody well. That was they were all good. So called Australian white, probably an Italian white variety, done well. And once again, you can see the stage that I've harvested it at. Just a few dying leaves. Had I left these any longer, would they have gone like those other ones that I showed you that were all opening up? Who knows? What about this? This has got to be, as I said, anything with Italian in it. Absolute stars of the show. Where did they come from? Can't remember. Italian whites out of the top bed. Yeah, Italian white. I'll put 20... No, it didn't count. Did I count? Italian white. 14 of them I put in. I reckon I've probably got all of them there as well. Have a go at them. Now, don't know as yet if the size is going to be indicative of flavour at all, because we know that the really big garlics, like the elephant garlic, isn't that tasty. So these will be an interesting one. If they've got good garlic flavour and they're this size, then they're definitely a one to stay with. Which was part of the whole experiment, was to find the good garlics. And in talking about finding good garlics, look at that. What a complete waste of time. Silver skins. And they probably had the best position in the garden. It's fairly clear that the part of the garden, just swing around there, Margaret, to the left there, that's the south face of the house, and the house shadowed half of the garden in the middle of winter. The garlic up the top generally did by far the best because it was in full sun, with the exception of silver skins. They had the best position and they're a complete waste of time. Should we replant next year? Don't know. What have we got here? This is another Italian red from Golden Garlic, which is a bit of a letdown. Obviously a very different variety of Italian to the bigger white ones that I've got. But we are going to have to wait and see what the taste is like. If they're a really super strong garlic, the fact that they're small is of no consequence at all.
I think they're quite good sized flowers.
Well, they're not bad, I guess. Yeah, but size is everything, dear. You know that.
No, it isn't.
Look, I planted a few last year for the first time. We got single clove garlics in Woolworths, and I said I thought that they were just immature garlics, and that's certainly what they were. They started to grow. They didn't do well. They got covered up. They were next door to Brussels sprouts and got covered up. So give them another go yet next year. They're just a purple striped garlic. They were immatures. The other one that got covered up was the dynamite, and I haven't found it. Don't know where that was.
It was in a little box. You put it. Maybe it's near the front door of the garage.
There were 5 of them. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Look out, this will blow up in your hand. This Uncle Les was your dynamite, and unfortunately got completely and absolutely covered up by the Brussels sprouts, which were a disaster anyway. So all I can do with that is replant next year. Let them go again. Okay, that's the star of the show down there probably. What have we got here? Italian whites from Golden Garlic.
Move back.
Get back. Italian whites from Golden Garlic. A nice sized garlic. Just nice. Called whites, but they've got very distinctive purples in them. Alright? They did alright. It's like opening Christmas presents, isn't it? This is just called a red. Probably from Diggers, second generation from Les. Once again, you see how that's really started to open up.
Yes. It was in the ground too long.
Yeah. So, and you see the state of these leaves. So, and the flowers haven't opened yet either. So it would appear they've got to come out of the ground before the flowers open, or while the flowers are opening, and while there's still a good amount of green on the leaf. Otherwise, the garlics themselves start to come apart, obviously ready to start growing again. This one, a good looking garlic. Monaro Purple from Golden Garlic. I reckon that's one of the better garlics, and certainly one of the better ones from the Golden Garlic selection. Very nice. Monaro Purple. Oh, they were pulled, by the way, they were pulled on the 16th. They were pulled a week ago. So they've dried in the garage a little bit. Once again, you can see by the scapes, barely starting to split. I reckon Margaret got those at exactly the right time. Close to a star of the show. Melbourne Market from Golden Garlic. That's another pretty good one. I don't think it's as good as the Monaro Purple, quite. Just on appearance, that is. Once again, it's going to be a case of what it tastes like. Oh, not bad garlics. Nice Melbourne Market from Golden Garlic. And last but not least, now don't even know where this came from. I've got to have a look. They were planted next door to the question mark Mexican one that I really wanted. Now, isn't that funny? Bed right next door, exactly the same conditions, virtually full sun. The Mexican one, which was a huge garlic to start with, turned out like little tiny marbles and only got 3 out of the 9. This one, an Italian red, right next door. The garlic that I planted wasn't particularly big, but look what we got out of it. They are just brilliant. Now that's the star of the show. So whether it's climate, whether it's cow poo, whether it's just the clay soil, I don't know. But if you had to choose any single garlic to go on with in this area, it'd be Italian red, and then the next one would be Italian white. That's it. That's me garlic. Catch ya.
How do I stop?
Press the button.